Yo. We're glad to have you guys.
No, start over.
Yo. We're glad to have you guys in this great space. We are your hosts,
Brandon.
Candace.
and Mandy. Thank you guys all for liking, sharing, subscribing, getting the videos out there on
Indeed.
This is with the support that you've been receiving.
Karma.
No. The verse of the day is Genesis 27, verse 22. And Jacob went near unto Isaac his father, and he felt him, and said, the voice is Jacob's voice, but the hands are the hands of Esau.
Oh.
Okay. Yeah.
You know, I really like that Bible story.
Why?
I don't know, but I used to liken it to how favoritism can really affect your kids.
Oh.
Because remember, that's what happened in
Yeah.
this case. What's your name? What's your mother name? Rachel? Rebecca?
Rebecca.
Rebecca, she favored Jacob more than Esau. And they were twins, and not even like say a little brother and big brother. They were twins. And she favored Jacob more than Esau. And Esau was supposed to receive the birthright from Isaac. And Isaac was blind in his
he was
going blind in his later stages.
That's why they were able to trick him.
So she used goat skin to because Jacob was smooth boy. He was a young boy. Him never did, you know.
Him never did husky.
Him never know. Him brother did.
Yeah, did rough.
Did rough.
When he was a hunter, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
Esau.
was
Jacob stayed in the yard with Rebecca.
Yeah.
And help
Mama's
out.
boy.
Yeah.
So him did, you know, skin smooth and thing. Him not a blemish, not like a spot, not like a nothing.
No color
So that's how their father was able to differentiate them because he was going blind in his old age.
Yeah.
So Rebecca saw that Esau was going to receive or she knew because in those days
he was
the
firstborn, really. So I guess Esau was the first one to come out.
So he was supposed to receive the birthright, and she didn't want that. She wanted Jacob to get it. So them kill one goat and use the goat skin and put it on
Esau. No,
Jacob
hand.
and send him to Isaac when the birthright was supposed to be given out before Esau could get to him, and then bestow the birthright upon Jacob and not Esau.
Yeah.
And it caused problems.
But how hairy was Esau to put goat skin on?
That's hairy. If it's goat skin, could I mimic it?
Him did hairy bad.
Yeah, the hair.
Esau was hairy. Yeah, him did rough, and they say it was like red and hairy.
The hair, man.
Yeah, man.
See, a lot of these stories in the Bible. Well, I wouldn't say that. No, that's not a parable. That's actual real life
story.
events.
A real life
But
event,
it's story nonetheless from the Bible. A lot of teaching moments because Esau and Jacob ended up having.
Yeah, they had beef for a while. Jacob had to run away, and so comes him end up at Laban. That got till 14 years.
Forget Rachel.
Yeah, man, I end up getting Leah.
Would you wait 14 years?
Not even wait.
Yes.
Work 14
Would
years.
you,
and
would you wait and work 14 years for a
14
girl?
years.
No. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that, bro.
But if she's a Rachel, you need to work. They're gonna be Leahs that will come along.
Layers. 14 years.
Leah, that was the other
Leah.
sister.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm so sorry for Leah. Cause every child she name after how she was feeling. Yeah. I think Judah was the only Judah.
You see names in the Bible?
They are deep.
Yes.
The Bible are different.
They have meaning.
Yeah, they all have a meaning.
They
really do.
meanings.
They all have a meaning. Because
Yeah,
wasn't what's it? With Jose and Goma, the children were named after the.
Oh my goodness.
the kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were named after
That was bad.
the. Yeah.
That's crazy, you know.
Like not my child or
Them-
not my father.
yeah,
Something
not loved.
like that. Yeah.
Not loved.
Not loved,
That one
yes.
they killing me because what you mean? You don't love me?
Yeah. And I think wasn't.
And Jacob was trickster.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wasn't there somebody in the Bible? Was it Jochebed? There's a name that was named after when Israel, I think Israel lost something.
Oh, when something there,
trying to-
Phineas and Hophni,
that?
Eli,
Yeah.
daughter-in-law, she was
Yeah.
having baby.
And she named the picnic after the loss where Israel gave.
Yeah, almost like the Lord is gone or something,
Yeah, I was like,
something
what?
real drastic and dramatic.
Bible names are
Yeah.
They're deep, bro.
yeah.
Yeah, man,
They're super deep.
some of them deep, man.
But they're actually nice names though when you think about it. Cause I actually really love
I love the name Naomi. I think Naomi is such a pretty
What is
name.
it?
Esther. There she is. I like the name Esther.
Esther?
Yes.
Yeah, Esther is cute.
Esther was black and broke. And when Esther see money, establish.
People named Ruth,
Ruth,
Yeah.
Ruth, Naomi, Esther.
You'll meet a lot of.
Deborah.
There's a lot of Pauls.
Oh yeah.
There's a lot of Matthews. There's a lot of Marks.
Yes.
David.
David is the one.
David
I knew I
and
want
Daniel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lots of David, lots of
I've
Daniels.
never met a Moses.
I met a
I
Moses.
have.
I have two.
I've been
twice.
him and alone, I know name, so.
I met two Moses.
I've never met a Moses.
I've met an Abraham.
There's too many Adams.
Yeah.
Moses.
Yeah.
Eves. There are some Eves.
I've met a Eve.
No, I've met a few Eves. I've met a Deborah, but I've never met a Deborah. Yes.
I
Same.
think I've seen a Deborah.
I've met a couple Genesis. Genesis is
Wait, no. There's one girl I know
Genesis.
named Genesis.
yeah.
Um.
A couple Genesises. Oh my goodness, we know an Ezekiel.
Oh yes.
You know Ezekiel?
Yes. From Sunday school.
Okay.
You know that theory about kids being named after Bible people
Yeah.
always being
Become the worst.
the rudest.
They become the worst.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, Roman.
And with that, the episode for today is
The episode for today is
Dun, 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 dun.
how do we share the word with unbelievers?
So, we, like most people, have friends that are unbelievers.
yeah.
Friends that are not saved. Because they can believe in
But are
Jesus
just
Christ
not
and the
saved.
Lord. They're just, unsaved. And we have to interact with these people on a daily, basically.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. So the stigma is that we try to force people to become part of this here lovely flock. And really and truly, not everybody does that. It is done. We will not sit here and lie to you and tell you that
Yeah.
it's not done.
We just don't do
But
it.
we don't. Because just like how you talk to a child, just like how you talk to someone with special needs, just like how you speak with an adult or an elderly person who needs extra clarification, it's the same way you have to speak with your friends or family members that are unsaved. And you have to be patient. Number one, that's the first thing. Patience is the base for speaking with these people or just speaking with anybody at all. Patience. But your thing is that you don't want to end up pushing down on them so much that they stop believing ultimately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you have to approach it very meticulously, you know? And you don't have to like just devise a grand plan. But once you approach them with love and with the intentions of just being genuine, it should get you somewhere. And that's
Sure.
what you really want. You want to give them the jump start. Because you can't do everything for them,
Yeah.
but you want to be able to give them a good head start, jump start. And one good thing that you can do is lead by example so that
Yeah.
they would have someone, not necessarily to look up to, but emulate, because they would then be able to say, let's say them reach a crossroads and they'd be able to say, oh, well, Last time I saw Brandon going through a problem, him go read him Bible or him go pray about it. You know, they could use that as some sort of beacon to say, all right, this is what I'm going to follow
Yeah.
and do.
True, true, true.
I would say I would also agree with you as well. Especially in terms of being an example. From my experience where I used to work before, there's a lot of persons there who had a idea of who God was. They just, as they said, never really did the church thing, right? And what I found was that really setting the example from the start and sticking by it, because you will say that you're a Christian, because the moment you say that you're a Christian, you're saying, all right, this person's supposed to be different. No, situations are going to come up where you're going to have to know defend that statement. And I think in those moments from my experience, there were moments where I had to defend that statement, and through that, they were able to see that I am a Christian. The different situations we had, the different conversations we had. I remember one coworker, he came to me and he said, say, I like you, like, you're one of the good Christian, like, judge people, you see me? Because we couldn't just have just regular conversations, and I think sometimes when you come across unbelievers, sometimes you forget that they're just like me and you, just like they're not saved, but they're just like us. They live normal lives, they make normal money, they wear normal clothes. So I think the first thing is to not just see them as someone that's not like you, because that's gonna be condescending.
Yeah.
But you have to humble yourself and say we're both humans here. I'm not telling you to exclude Christ out of your conversations, but in some ways they want to hear the perspective from a Christian. What's the best way I can say this? They want to hear your perspective. They want to hear your perspective. And if it aligns with the Bible, that's fine. But they want to hear your perspective.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Through your perspective, they will see Christ in it. Than you trying to put a form of Christ in your pattern of speech. If you understand what I mean.
So it's more like they want something more personal and not general.
Yeah, they don't
Yeah.
want to hear God will provide.
They want
Yes,
to hear
how
they
did
want
God
hear-
provide for you?
Yes,
Yeah, they want to hear
exactly.
about
Got
your
you.
story, what you went through. And once you can do that, they will see the difference between you and just the regular Christian.
Yeah.
The other ones who made at work, they will see you differently. So
Yeah.
that's what I say. You have to. I would say all I would say is this: the moment you say you're a Christian, you have to defend it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
all
You do,
eyes
because-
are on you.
All eyes, you have to defend it.
Because one thing is, people that are unsaved, especially people that are already sticking by the stereotype of Christians, they
Yeah.
are watching your every move.
Yeah,
Pee
man.
pee, cluck cluck.
Yeah, man.
Them are watching like a hawk. So them just want to see you slip up one time to be like,
Yeah.
hey,
Yeah, man. Cause you
whatever.
know them believe that the whole way are hypocrite and the whole way are thief and the whole way are judge people.
Yeah,
And
whole
you
way are
can't talk
wicked.
to the
You
Christian
can't,
people them.
yeah.
Cause them going to
Yeah.
hype on them up till like that and you can't talk to them. Yeah, man. That's how they think we are, and unfortunately some of us have failed to go against that grain.
Yes.
Unfortunately.
Sometimes it's the quickest thing to say.
Yes, it is the quickest thing to say.
And not just unbelievable for us to say, it's the quickest thing that our response is what they may do wrong. It's the quickest thing to say because it's the easiest thing to pick apart.
Yeah, but you
At
see,
them.
Oh, and that as well. I think whilst we have that stereotype to go against, we also do run the risk of believing that that is how they stereotypically think about us. And hence you don't end up starting a conversation in the first place. Because you automatically, or you might kind of technically be on guard for that kind of a thing, where you might be sharing your church experience and the person ends up lashing out and saying, can't bother the church people and and talk about the Bible, when honestly the person could be genuinely interested and you find yourself being shocked, like, huh, wow, I didn't think that believing in that is how they stereotypically think about us sometimes does have us running the risk of not starting the conversation
them,
any
yeah.
at all. Because them look like them about to say the whole of us church people are hypocrite.
It's one of the touchy parts of being a Christian, evangelism. A lot of people tend to shy away from it because you know how you are perceived generally by persons that are unbelievers and unsaved. And it doesn't help that some of them are closed-minded. They're not open to seeing or hearing or understanding that, you know, this is not really how it works or whatever. And then on top of that, you do really and truly have the persons that study the Bible and aren't Christians and they will use their knowledge of the Bible and try to test you. And a lot of times you have to look out and use your discernment for when those type of people approach you, because some of them, they really don't mean you any good, honestly. And you have to know which tree to bark up. Like, you can do your best of spreading the word and being like spreading the gospel, basically. You can do your best with doing that, but some things I feel like is really just, we have to send God in on a mission there. You know, we are not the strongest. We are strong soldiers, but we're not the strongest for some of those.
Yeah, because you're gonna. Cause I remember this one girl. She came up to me and she was talking about some parts in the Bible about gay people and stuff. And she said, you know, it wasn't referring to them. And I just said to her, where did you hear the information from? Like, where did you hear it? Because I'm interested to know. And I think sometimes whenever they come with those things, whenever you respond, because when they do say it, they speak to a Christian and they get the response that they want, they think like they want. But when you respond and you say, that's interesting, I never knew that before. Tell me more. Where you hear that from? You know, says I'm on TikTok. He tell me the one thing. I was like, that's where you get information from.
Sometimes when that conversation comes up, before when I was probably like 3 years ago or so, I'd say I didn't have the answers whenever that came up. And my answer was always, God loves sinners. That was always my answer. God loves sinners. You know, there's nothing else I could have given at that moment in time apart from God loves sinners.
I think, of course, the best example for interacting with the unsaved and the unbelievers was Jesus himself. He was not shy about going and meeting them at their place of need. He was not shy about going out to them and talking to them and interacting with them, regardless of what the Pharisees and the scribes wanted to say, because you do have modern day Pharisees and scribes. So things change, so they remain the same. As Solomon said, there really is nothing new under the sun. So you will encounter the uppity ones, or the ones who are a lot more legalistic. I'm not going to say strict. I'm going to say legalistic.
Annoying.
Okay. I'm gonna say legalistic about what the word might say, or their interpretation of what the word is. But there is nothing wrong with having a community of persons who might be unsaved, because that is who the Lord came for. He came to seek and to save those which were lost. It's not the healthy person that needs a physician, it's the sick. And these are the persons that we're charged to go out and make Christ-like disciples out of. You can't do that if you don't interact with them. And as Mandy was saying, oftentimes it might just come from you being an example.
You know what's funny? I remember when Queen, or well, it's kind of mad. I remember when Queen Elizabeth died, right? And I remember I was in a WhatsApp group.
Yo, that was 2 years ago, you know?
That was 2 years ago?
Yeah.
Shano.
Time of fly.
Yeah. I remember when she died, and I was in a WhatsApp group with some Christian people, and somebody said Queen Elizabeth died, and then someone said, but she was a sinner though. She did evil things. And somebody said in the group, I can see you don't have unsafe friends.
Ooh.
You know,
I said, facts.
Stick up in. The day Queen Elizabeth died was the funniest day on social media
Yeah, it was.
ever.
It was.
I am so sorry. That was a funny.
Yeah, man,
I
it was.
spent the entire day laughing,
The
bad man.
TikToks. The
Twitter?
TikToks.
Oh my God, it was hilarious.
I don't think you understand how funny that day
memes.
was. Yeah.
My
Every second
days.
there was a new one, and they were just
Yeah.
all hilarious. Anyway, off topic, but yeah.
So I think the leader of the group, he said, I can see that you guys have unsafe friends.
That's crazy.
And it was so true because they would always speak to us in the group. And it makes me think that some Christians, when the Bible talks about don't be unequally yoked with unbelievers, right? The Bible is talking about that we're in the situation where the persons who we should go necessarily forward in life are doing things intimately in life and so forth should be persons who are like-minded. But in the world that we live in, that God made, you're going to come across persons who don't believe in Jesus.
Yeah.
But you're going to also, I found that the unbelievers that I have met, they have come to be the nicest persons that I know, the coolest people that I know, the realest people that I know.
Yeah.
Those have been from unbelievers.
And you know what? My friends that are unsaved, they are so respectful of my boundaries.
Yeah. Those are the ones you really need to
So
foster.
Respectful of
Yeah.
my boundaries.
Yeah.
And that's one thing I appreciate so much because there's some things I didn't even have to tell them. Like they just act
Yeah.
accordingly. And I appreciate that more than ever. But your point, as you said that, you know what's really hard? Trying to offer a word to someone unsaved that just lost a loved one.
Oh.
I think my mother, mommy kind of made the example. I don't know if she was something was saying. I think what she was doing, I think I kind of learned was don't say anything.
Yeah.
Just be present. Because let me tell you something. Because this is what I learned from unbelievers. As I remember, Sister Costage makes the example that the people must know that you're a Christian, right?
Yeah.
And the word must come through your mouth. But what I've learned is that you being present as a Christian is the example enough for them to see that a Christian is here for me.
Yeah.
It's not as much as you want to share the word. It doesn't
You
matter.
Time and
have to
place.
hold
Time and place.
off because
Yeah,
if someone is in front of you bawling and mourning
Yeah.
somebody and you tell them God knows best, I promise you,
The Lord gives and He takes away.
do not.
Do not say that. Yeah, I'm telling
I
you,
mean,
man.
yes, these are things that we know and we live by, but
Yeah.
time and
Time-
place, brother.
I'm telling you, you have to.
You can't see me a bar because I just lose my father and you go come tell me say, you know, darling, God knows best, you know, and
God
the
has
Lord
a
give
plan.
it and He take it away. And
Yeah.
God has a plan, you know. And I promise you that will get me upset.
Yeah, and it's,
I know, but in that moment, sometimes all you just need is just somebody to be there and offer
Yeah.
hugs.
That's-
You don't go into that yet.
You don't need to speak.
And that's what I think sometimes as Christians we forget to be
Human.
humans.
Yeah.
We forget to be humans.
We
And
have
it's-
turned into robots
yeah.
But the
because
automatic
we just
answers
offer
for everything.
automated responses,
Yeah.
and we have sometimes left out that human part of us. Like someone
Ooh,
is
yeah.
grieving, and you don't just you go and you offer yourself. Your presence
That's enough.
is enough.
That's enough. I'm telling you.
If
it's
the
enough.
person wants to hear something,
they will
they will ask.
They will ask.
But that's tricky, you know, because one thing is they're gonna start asking questions because I remember being bombarded with my mother was a Christian. She never do nothing wrong and whatever. And why God do this to her and whatever. And you're just like,
Yeah. But
Well,
that's
so you have to be prepared. But lending, and it's the same thing with when people come to you expressing their issues, struggling with mental health or their
Yeah.
problems or
Yeah.
anything. Do not give automated responses.
no.
Be a listening ear. Use your ears and listen.
And
Yeah.
pray for your friends.
'Cause
Pray for them. You don't have to. It's not necessarily, oh, come let me pray for you. You can pray for them in your own quiet time while they are gone and away, and just be present while they are there.
Yeah. Because I remember this other coworker, Aaron. I remember, I think we were walking buying food, and he was telling me that, yo, sometimes it's difficult doing some things. And I was saying, like, bro, I just kind of have a plan for the day, so, just kind of work it out, and I just pray over it. I'm telling you, from that experience with
That
unbelievers.
gave him so much perspective.
Yeah, because be the yeah, you're a Christian, but you're also a human, and you're dealing with humans as well.
Yeah.
And sometimes they're not gonna see God how you see God.
Yeah.
So you, as I say, you have to be the light for them. You have to be that perspective for them.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to be the person because they're not looking at they're not looking at God the way you're looking at God.
Yeah.
I remember this one guy at the gym. You know him.
Okay.
Yeah. And he was telling me about how he got into the gym, that his fiance died and he was working. So he came to to Jamaica just to kind of digress. And what he was telling me, and he's like, yo, how old are you? I was like, I'm 24. He's like, you're wise. You're wise by your years, mate.
Salaman.
Yeah. He's like, and then he was telling me, I was like, yeah, well, I really read my Bible, and I really Jesus helped me through those times in my life. And he said, oh, so you're a Christian? I was like, yeah. He said, that's cool, man. He said, I've been trying to get in. Then he started to ask me questions about like situation him and his wife, and where would she be, and when you get those questions, in that moment, I had to be like, listen, it's either I tell the truth in love, because without truth, there's no love. I don't care what anybody wants to say.
Yeah.
So
Bars.
it's just the facts. And I was telling him that, listen, salvation is like an invitation to a party. Not because you're a good person means I'm going to let you into my party. If you have salvation,
Do you have
get
that
into the party.
invitation? Yeah.
That's simply like, oh, I understand. He said before he didn't want to hear nothing about Christian people. Yeah, he was angry. 2 years ago he was angry, but now he's calmer now. So I think sometimes you just have to. They just want sometimes they just want a friend.
Yeah.
They just want a friend, and as Mandy said, it's not necessarily about forcing it down. It's about forcing it down, but just be a human.
Yeah.
Just be a human. You can laugh with them. You don't have to drink with them. You don't have to go where they're going. But just be a human.
Yeah.
And you can be able to relate with them even. Yeah, but it's not gonna be easy because you're gonna come against some who just don't want.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and that's fine.
And if that is not where you are welcomed, you pray and you move on.
Move on. Yeah,
You leave the situation in God's hands.
Yeah.
Pray and move on. Really. and
You
truly.
know, a con of being the saved one out of your circle or probably in your family is you are carrying everyone's burdens on your shoulder, and it gets taxing a lot of times. You are the person they run to when things go bad.
Yeah.
On top of you offering advice, you are praying, you are lending a listening ear. Sometimes it's like you have to be on call.
Yeah.
on
24/7.
duty for when something goes wrong in their life. Now we can pause and acknowledge the fact that they seek you out because you have provided for them a space of grace, or you are the representation of Christ
Yeah.
for them where they're able to run to. But at some point in time where we have to, I remember my mother was teaching me, they said at some point in time, we are going to have to start showing them how to do these things
On
for
their
themselves.
own, yeah.
Yeah.
Because just like I pray we'll all be ready to say, your mother's prayers
Can't save you.
cannot take you to heaven.
Facts.
My prayers cannot take my friends to
Facts.
heaven. My prayers can take my unsaved family members to heaven.
Yeah.
Whoever it is that I know, my prayers can't do that for them. Them I got have to learn how to do them something upon them own. Because
Yeah.
one, I can't bear
Yeah.
your weight because I'm carrying all of your
And
burdens and mine
and the
Yeah.
world. Because
on
sometimes,
my
yeah.
shoulders, on
Yeah.
my head. And sometimes you don't even get a chance to like analyze everything properly. And then all that's going to lead to is one big breakdown. One big breakdown. Because you're really and truly trying to solve things as best as possible. And at the same time, you're trying not to be God. Because you can't be God and you don't
Yeah.
want,
Yeah. Yeah.
you
yeah.
don't ever want to be an idol
Yeah.
for your friends. So making that small boundary, that thin line between, hey, being a listening ear and being a problem solver,
Yeah.
you have to sit them down and say, listen, this is what I do when I am in this situation.
Yeah.
And you can do
We
it as
can
well.
pray together, but Irwa, when the thing happen, you don't immediately just run to me like that.
Run to
Yeah.
God.
I said, you can talk to God for yourself. You can come tell me yes, and we can pray about it and talk about it. But every single time, you can use somebody. It's like learning to walk. You depend on the walker. The babies depend on the walker for a time being. And then afterwards, them have to start step off on them own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is almost like them, the stages of nurturing and growing, childhood development, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Them
yeah.
have to start branch out on them own.
Yeah.
Because you are going to be the one, and trust me, holding other people's burdens and problems and issues on you, it's taxing.
Yeah.
You're going to get overwhelmed.
Oh,
You get overwhelmed.
I think even.
Oh, warm.
Calm down.
Yeah.
I think.
You need for him not subscribe to little Jamaican niceness.
I think
you get overwhelmed.
even then when you're talking about when you have to be carrying everything, and whilst we would like to express how we are feeling to our unsaved friends, I have found that it's been my experience that I just can't. Because it is difficult, because your first instinct is not to say, oh, I see that you're breaking down, let me pray for you and pray over you. That's not necessarily their first response. So it's been hard for me personally to connect on that deep emotional and intimate level, because that spiritual bond is just not there. So when you end up having to take on all of that responsibility, that is really when your Christian friends really do step up and show you why it is important to have a Christian community as well.
Yep.
Some persons might think, oh, Christians, what can you guys really do? Or Christianity is boring, or in a friendship not really going on anything. But it is so deep and so connected that it's just, that it's just not something you can experience personally. For me, personally, it's just not something that I have experienced with somebody who is not saved. So there are, while we are here definitely saying that you need to communicate with those who are unsaved and just live as an example of what Christ is for you and what you hope for him to be for them as well. You should also make the time to nurture your Christian relationships as well, because
Amen.
they will come in handy.
Of
Yeah,
course.
And I think, I guess the takeaway, or the last thing I can say is, it's as when you come across unbelievers, you you may not be the person to save, to bring them to Christ.
You can't
You may
save
just be
nobody.
you may just plant the seed.
Yeah.
And I think I remember I when I find in the editing, when I find the scripture where Paul was talking about we plant the seed. I think the Lord.
Oh, one somebody water it and somebody grow it. Yeah.
So it's plant the seed, somebody else, our next man will do the next part.
This is the parable of the sower as well.
Yeah, that's it. Kind of work and fall on the stony
Yeah.
soil.
On very different soil. So people have different reactions. So
I don't mean to like plant the seed Monday. Say you're working somewhere, plant the seed Monday, and that's it. No, like you plant the seed Monday, you can plant it Tuesday.
come back, check on it.
You come back, check on it.
Yeah,
Make sure you get some sunlight.
Yeah.
Water it a
But
little.
when you gone, and then that's it. Another man will come in and say, plant it another way, and then him go to church. So it's dealing with unbelievers. I think it's an experience thing,
It is.
and you need to be around them to understand how why they think the way they think and who they are.
Yeah.
Hey, sometimes them can set example for us, because
Brother.
those people, they don't worry about a thing.
Yeah,
They are living life
I remember
to the
Yishka.
fullest.
Where I was working, Yishka and Abi, and those two guys, I'm telling you, when we used to go site, Yishka say, brother, after 5 o'clock, I'm not worry about that thing, brother.
That's exactly how you should
that's
live
how they are,
life.
yeah.
Some cases we can really take a page
Yeah.
out of their book on what it means to truly live and not just exist.
Some of them are quite disciplined.
Very.
Some of them are
Listen.
quite disciplined
Yeah.
and quite consistent
Very,
and
yeah.
quite knowledgeable and
Yes.
quite curious and passionate.
Yes.
So it's not as if all they have to offer us is sin.
Exactly.
I think that's something
Do not-
that some persons get tied up in, thinking that all unbelievers have to offer you.
Yeah,
is
it's just sin.
It's
Man, some of them I've met.
it's not
some
true.
of the coolest people.
Yeah.
were
Coolest
unbelievers.
people.
Coolest.
Which should just show you guys to, above all else, just lead with patience and love. Do not go there with any thoughts in your head of, don't assume.
Yeah.
Just go there with love and patience. And if it's not your specific ministry, you pray and you leave it in God's hand and you move on. That's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. All right. Thank you guys for watching another episode of This Great Space. Remember to like, comment, share, subscribe, get the videos out there. Jesus Christ, the way, the truth, and the life. Get to know him today. And if you don't know him,
You're
You're
moving
mad.
mad.
you're moving mad, bruv. Thank you
Crazy.
guys all for watching This Great Space. Bye, guys.
Bye.
All right.